Mother speaks.
Hi Gemini, Taurus, Moon sign people. Welcome to your April 5th Pisces new moon reading. This is Pisces for your Vedic moon sign. You want to check the links below and make sure that you are not also Gemini in your Vedic moon sign. We're moving more into just looking at the Vedic moon signs because in my work with Mama Drama Trauma, I'm noticing, and basically I've been noticing, but confirmation that the healing is really happening working with the Vedic signs. And for you, this energy for this new moon is 11th house energy. And so this has a lot to do with your hopes. It has to do with your dreams for your life, your associations that make those dreams come true, that you've built over a period of time. And this is really working with the fact that Mars is in your first lunar house. All these readings are based on your first lunar house, and that is Taurus, Gemini in the Western. Now, again, not so much about the Western, but we're looking at moon yogas with Vedic lunar astrology. Healing Mama Drama Trauma, condition in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma, is healed through connecting to the mother of all mothers. The mother of all mothers is that still small voice within. Our intuition, our highest selves. It is the voice of our soul. Now, in Vedic astrology, the sun is the soul. So the sun sign is that soul personality. The moon is how it feels. It is the repository of its memories over many lifetimes. The soul knows its karma. It also transmits and communicates back and forth through that physical life of the ascendant, that ego life, the emotions. And so the moon is a satellite transmitter. Essentially, the first satellite before the human mind created satellites, the moon. And so Great Mother, the mother of all mothers, is the true transmitter of our emotional and our intuitional experience in this physical body. We associate that with our physical mother until we connect with Great Mother, which is why we do that in healing Mama Drama Trauma. You cannot heal from it if you are still connected to the guilt, blame, and shame that perpetuates it. So working with the Great Mother Speaks Oracle deck and with my inner work coaching at greatmotherspeaks.info, we learn how to grieve the mother that we want in order to accept the one that we have. New moon readings have to do with being able to clearly see what you have learned over the previous lunar cycle in terms of the lessons of MDT. MDT is a soul contract between two souls. And so the lessons always occur. It's a lifetime of healing, but they're always occurring in two areas. Our area of evolving in self-love and of evolving in spiritual independence. That, again, personal connection to our inner soul selves, the truth of who we are, as opposed to projecting that reality of who we are, what we feel onto others, first and foremost, our wounded mother. Okay? So those wounded mother issues are only healed when we become conscious of this process and we begin to work with it. Hello, Leo moon sign people. Your moon doshas are your 12th, your 1st, and your 2nd lunar house. Your 12th house is how you intuitively download. It's how your soul downloads information to you. And so for you, that would be Cancer energy. Cancer is ruled by the moon. And so you intuit things in a very intuitive way. Okay, that's Great Mother energy. The moon rules Cancer, and so you do it in a very maternal way, in a way that does care for other people, that does care for home, very maternalistically. In fact, that's how you intuitively download. How you actually experience your emotions is more Leo energy. It's more playful. It's more creative. That sort of thing. And how you process your emotions is more Virgo, separating the wheat from the chaff, what's really real, what's really not, that kind of thing. So for the lunar cycle, we're looking at the seed for the lunar season. And this lunar season is Pisces in the nakshatra of Uttarabhadrapada. And this is a very mature Piscean energy. It's a mystical energy that is very grounded. It's very intelligent. It has a true sense of itself. It does have a tendency to be a nakshatra of individuals who have healthy families, who have a very rewarding family life with their children and that sort of thing. It's the energy of the new moon in your 8th house. So it's a rebirth for you if these aren't qualities that typically define how you feel. They are resonating energies with you now, particularly when we're talking about Pisces in Vedic astrology. Is ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter right now for about 20 days, it will be retrograde this month as we converge onto the full moon on the 19th in Virgo Libra. This is going to be a full moon that right now is in your 5th house after the new moon, and for the rest of the month as it retrogrades into Scorpio in the Vedic. It retrogrades into Sagittarius in the Western astrology. And so that's important because we're talking 8th house energy for you, which is rebirth and regeneration, and you want to look to see where the support is for this rebirth and this regeneration, and where you are in the MDT continuum. Are you in the blame, the shame, the guilt cycle, and being aware of that and how that plays out in your life, and moving toward your divinity identity, accepting the fact that you are a divine, dearly loved child of the great Mother, Father, God. Now, this is difficult. This is a transition that is accurately called the dark night of the soul, because it requires us to release what are very natural feelings of responsibility. That's where the guilt comes from, feeling that we should be able to control our triggers. We should be able to control our behavior, how we respond to our mothers, for example, how we respond to our children. We should be able to cure the MDT. I shouldn't need help. I shouldn't need inner work life coaching. I shouldn't need to do all of these things, when in actuality you do, because it is a deep-seated pathology in your genetic code. That's why it's a cycle, and we don't stop these cycles on our own. And that's why every lunar cycle is an opportunity to buoy ourselves on the cosmic energies that are supporting us. We all have our unique cosmic calculus, and the moon as the satellite communicating between your ego and your soul, emotions of the ego to the soul, the sun, and the sun downloading intuition to the ego, and the moon recording all of this, being the repository of all of these memories, of all of these emotional experiences, is where we meet Great Mother, the mother of all mothers. And she's saying this new moon for you, Leo moon sign people, is about rebirth. 8th house. It is about regeneration. It is about really being aware of what you are downloading from your soul at this time. Really being aware of what the message is that you're receiving. 8th house is also about support from others. When we talk about the material world, we're talking about inheritances, monetary inheritances. But we also inherit the genetic code of our family. And so rebirthing that genetic code so it's not passed down into your family is about a conscious awareness that that is something that you have a choice to do or not to do as a part of your divinity, your divine expression. Now, many times people talk about choice, and we see these memes all the time that we can choose the life that we want to live. But in actuality, only those of us who embrace our divinity have that power, because we are able to withstand the fallout from the normal process that we would uphold out of fear. So in other words, the guilt, blame, and shame of MDT, many people hold on to because that's all they know, and they cannot conceive of a relationship with the Great Mother that would support them in ways beyond what we know. This is what she's saying this lunar cycle. You're being supported in ways beyond what you know. Many of you already are becoming aware of this because intuitively you're downloading that you are in the middle of a purification process. Your own sense of internal knowing, your own sense of internal awareness is evolving, and you're very conscious of this, or you're becoming conscious of it. This is heart chakra energy. It is waxing gibbous, and so there's a refinement, there's an editing of who you've seen yourself to be. There's an awareness of some psychic abilities that you might have that you're tuning into. And that is that great mother space, that intuitive space, that psychic energy, that is that extrasensory energy outside of the five senses, which is where we find that support that we may have never known through our divinity. This is how we know we're never judged, condemned, or left alone, is by tuning into that still small voice of that unconditional love and releasing, purifying ourselves from that unconditional blame, shame, and guilt of mama drama trauma. This is how we do this inner work. What is in your shadow position is Osiris Horus. Again, a rebirth card, death and rebirth. I mean, you're completely in this internal space of rebirth. It has a lot to do with fifth house energy in the South Node right now in Sagittarius, in the Vedic astrology. The South Node is ruled by Jupiter, as I was talking about before, where you're finding your support. And so you're being supported to release all of that toxicity right now. Leo moon sign people, you're being supported in this purification process. Throat chakra is ruled by Mercury, and right now Mercury is conjunct Venus and Neptune in Aquarius. And so Aquarius is your opposing sign. This is seventh house energy for you. This has all to do with how you are dealing with your soul contracts, with your marriage partners, with your children, with people that you have serious working relationships with throughout your life. Those pivotal relationships that change and facilitate your evolution in self-love and spiritual independence. Where are you seeing these things occur in your life at this time? They're being supported by the Venusian energy that's very loving, and the Neptunian energy of dreaming of what you want your new life to be. We are born out of love making. We are born out of a passionate desire at the very least, or we are born out of a very depraved sense of needing love. There is a continuum of love that is necessary in order for us all to grow and evolve. And wherever we find ourselves in that right now with mama drama trauma, with the Leo moon, you are actually processing all of this through a sense of purification, and you might not be aware of that. That's in your shadow position. The throat chakra is ruled by Mercury, which also rules Virgo, which is your second house. That's how you process information. So you're processing this rebirth, that death of the old self and the birth of the new self. You may not be aware of that. That's in your shadow position. Or if you're aware of it, you may not want other people to know about it, because what we see here in this scene of The Wizard of Oz is Dorothy is destroying the Wicked Witch, of the East. And so you may not want other people to know that you're at this place where you're destroying the power that MDT has in your life, the power that your toxic mother has in your life, because in the past it's meant that you fulfilled certain emotional roles that you're no longer willing to fulfill. You're no longer willing to take the blame. You're no longer willing to take the shame or the guilt. You are establishing boundaries, and you may not want aunties to know. You may not want your kids to even know. You may be keeping that within yourself and holding all of that within yourself. And what you really want is to let nature take its course. You're not wanting to control the situation. You're really wanting to let the situation take care of itself. You have gotten to a place in your divinity identity where you are learning to trust this cosmic process. You've probably been watching these videos for a while. I've been working with your own your interior system to where you've paid attention enough to trust it. If you're not there, you're wanting to trust it, or Great Mother is saying that you need to realize that you've done all that you can do to this point, and that you need to let nature take its course. Let everything do what it needs to do. As we see Dorothy in the Twister dream, we see the second chakra, which is ruled by Jupiter. So she was coming through very strongly at the beginning of the reading, talking about Jupiter being in your fifth house. And so releasing how you have created your life in the past, releasing how you have speculated about your future, because you've speculated about your future based on blame, shame, and guilt. And now you need to make plans or anticipate your highest desire, take risk based on your divinity. Trusting the guidance of your angels, trusting the guidance of your heart, trusting the good karma that you have available to you by doing so. And this is where the Jupiterian energy is, in the surrendering to that, surrendering to that part of you, that creative part of you that it needs to take a different direction, as we see in the Twister dream, which is exactly what set Dorothy on the yellow brick road when she was taken up into the Twister. When she tried to return back to the farm, it wasn't time for her to do that. And you know that it's not time for you to return either. You're going through a rebirth process. It's time for you to really course correct. And what's supporting you in doing that is a sense that you're ready to own your beauty. You're ready to own your good karma, your rewards, your sense of purification, your internal awareness, your authenticity as it relates to your rebirth. You're ready to do that. And as a result, your present state of ego soul alignment is this acknowledgement. You're acknowledging, hey, uncle, I'm ready. I'm ready to do this. There's one God, there's one law. I'm no different, no better, no worse than anyone else. Everyone who has this soul contract, we have to take our own power back, just like Dorothy. We have to take the journey. And you are kind of resting in that awareness. You've already been through a lot already, dealing with your mother and the darkness of all of this. But this balsamic moon is really about downloading that intuition from that Cancerian space, from that lunar space of this new moon, and really recognizing that why your soul wants to do this work is that it wants you to open up even further to the gifts that are available to you as a result of doing it. Not just intellectually downloading your divinity from that Cancer. Although Cancer is extremely intuitive, we don't see any, we do see third eye as your outcome card from doing this work. But up to doing this work, we don't really see any third eye energy, which is Cancer ruled by the moon. And so we're trying to get you to that place to align with the downloads that you're receiving from Cancer, because that openness is going to help you do that. Opening your heart to what for some of you may seem like a very arduous process of just really acknowledging that you need to reground yourself, you need to course correct, let nature take its course. And how your soul wants to do it is just you awakening to the fact that you are a dearly loved child of the great Mother, Father, God, who's never judged, condemned, or left alone. You are not responsible for controlling. You did not cause. You did not create. You cannot cure MDT in anyone but yourself. And that is with the assistance of Great Mother, which is your Cancer and third eye outcome card as a result of doing this work this month. So we'll have a full moon reading the 19th, which is Virgo Libra full moon energy, but you really want to pay attention to this fifth house energy where Jupiter is, because it's retrograding into this Sagittarius energy that is recreating this space for your rebirth. And justice indicates that things are not going to end up the way you expect. Okay, and so really stay in alignment with your divinity and making your speculations, taking your emotional risk based on divinity instead of MDT, instead of oh, I feel guilty, so I'm going to do this. Or I'm ashamed, so I'm going to hide again, and I'm going to do this. That time is up. You're not going to be supported in that cosmically going forward. I'm here to tell you, you have the 2 rebirth cards in the deck. That's what you're being supported to do. And so make those risks based on that. And so your outcome is either going to be that you have faced that challenge to align with that Cancer and intuitive energy. And so you're going to be redirected onto your yellow brick road of living in loving detachment from the blame, the shame, the guilt, trying to control, thinking you can cure all of that, letting all that go in ways that you cannot imagine right now. And some of you, it may be a situation where it may be just too difficult to let go of the old way. And you will once again meet me back here for the next reading to hear Great Mother's message about how to move forward with your divinity. We try again and again and again until we get it. Thank you so much for watching, for sharing, and for liking. This is, again, the transitional deck between Western astrology into the Vedic astrology to heal Mama Drama Trauma. If you'd like to know more, get in touch with me at greatmotherspeaks.info. I am designing the Vedic deck, which is specifically for your Vedic moon sign. I hope that's been very helpful to you. Remember, Great Mother loves you, and
I am Great Mother, Holy Spirit, Yin, Divine Mother, Cosmic Womb, Deep Space, the Moon, Dark Matter, the Void, the Black Hole, Hathor, Isis, Diana, Mami Ishtar, Kali, Mammy, and Mother Mary.